إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا إنه من يهدي الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له يحيي ويميت وهو حي لا يموت وهو على كل شيء قدير وأشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا وحبيبنا وقائدنا وقرة أعيننا وقدوتنا محمد صلوات ربي وسلامه عليك يا سيدي يا رسول الله. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد في الأولين، اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد في الآخرين، اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد في كل وقت وحين، اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد في الملأ الأعلى إلى يوم الدين، وارض اللهم عن آله وعن الصحابة والتابعين، وارض اللهم عنا معهم أجمعين. يا أيها الناس اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون، إن خير الحديث كلام الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، وإن شر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. أما بعد, what I want to talk to you today, this topic, is a topic I love to speak about because every single time I have done this khutbah or given this as a talk, I have needed to hear the words. Usually before I'm going to do the khutbah, I prepare. As soon as I pick up these notes, it's like the words are speaking to me in the moment. And that's actually how the concept of this khutbah came to me. I was reading Quran one day with my wife. She's reading a page, I'm reading a page. I get to the bottom of the page. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with the nasheed. Ma wahanna, ma wahanna. The word, وَلَا تَهِنُوا, appeared on the page and it penetrated through the fog. What I realized is, oh wow, I recognize this word. And then I realized the whole rest of this page, I have no idea what's on it. I was just reading the page, kida, out of habit. And so I went back and I was like, let me reread this page and give it the attention it deserves. Give it the respect that reading the Quran deserves. And so when I was reading the page, that's when I was like, okay, this page is a khutbah on its own. And the lesson from this page is not this page specifically. I know a lot of you know Ramadan is coming up. And a lot of khutbahs and topics and talks are going to help you with Ramadan prep, how to prepare for Ramadan, how to make smart goals, different ways to engage with Ramadan and to prepare for Ramadan coming. And I think all of that is extremely valuable. What I'm going to spend my time doing today is highlighting one aspect, which is even one page of the Quran, we're going to pull from it barely a tenth of the lessons that are in it. And so re-engage with the Quran as one page a day. That's the intention for after this khutbah, you re-engage with the Quran with one page. That way when you are listening to these talks about how to get ready for Ramadan, you're not restarting your heart from zero. You're not restarting your connection to the Quran from zero. Especially what I would hate to happen is Ramadan comes and that is the first time that we touch the Mus'haf since last Ramadan, or since we stopped touching it after Ramadan. So I'm going to go through this one page, probably not even the whole page. And we're going to pull a few lessons from each ayah to highlight the value of just engaging with even one page of the Quran, ayah by ayah, inshallah. This is page 67, by the way, of the Quran. It's in Surah Al-Imran. And the first ayah on the page, وَسَارِعُوا إِلَى مَغْفِرَةٍ مِّن رَبِّكُمْ وَجَنَّةٍ عَرْضُهَا السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ أُعِدَّتْ لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. And the immediate thought that I had reading this ayah was وَسَارِعُوا. Sari'u is compete, fight, strive, put in effort. إِلَى مَغْفِرَةٍ مِّن رَبِّكُمْ. I ask myself before I ask anybody else, is 30% of my mind occupied with the akhirah and 70% with the dunya? Even on a good day in Ramadan, do I even hit 30% of that's where I compete, that's where I really strive, that's where I see people doing well and I'm like, I have to be like those people and do those things? My mind is occupied with bills and rent and the car and family and friends and fun and games. That's the truth for me. And so the ayah reminds us that really our focus needs to be the akhirah, not the dunya. That we should compete in the akhirah, not the dunya. And it's difficult. Living in this country, in this day and age, it is difficult. But Allah gave us this book. This book is preserved through a miracle. 1400 years ago, these exact words were said. And they're still relevant to this day. They were difficult for them to implement as well. So the first lesson, just from kalimat wasari'u, is to put our focus towards the akhirah. There's a very interesting hadith, and it wasn't directly related, but I was doing a talk about Abu Ubaidah ibn al-Jarrah, radiallahu anhu, and I came across this hadith, so I added it to this talk. Because I love talking about the Sahaba as well. Mostly when I come here, I talk about the Sahaba. If I'm doing a khutbah, 50% chance I'm talking about a Sahabi. But Abu Ubaidah is sent to Najran, and he's coming back. And when he comes back, some people see him coming from outside of Medina, and they know he's coming back with money. So they rush to the masjid. They tell a few others, and they're front row. And Rasulullah knows, like, the reason they're here is not because they're like, oh, I want to be early for Salat al-Asr. That's why I'm here early at the masjid. It's because they know that since Abu Ubaidah came back with wealth, it's going to get distributed. For the hadith goes, Rasulullah lets the people gather. And he starts by saying, مَا الْفَقْرُ أَخْشَى عَلَيْكُمْ. My ummah, and he's speaking to the whole ummah, I do not fear poverty for you. I'm not afraid that you will be too poor. That is not the fear that Rasulullah had for the ummah. أَخْشَى عَلَيْكُمْ أَن تُبْسَطَ الدُّنْيا. That the dunya opens its hands to you. That you are able to access everything in the dunya. That whatever you need, you have. That is what Rasulullah ﷺ is afraid of. And he's speaking to the Sahaba. These people that are in front of him are all Sahaba. And this is actually the key. كَمَا بُسِطَتْ عَلَى الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ. Exactly as it opened its hands to the people before you. This is the reason it's connected to this ayah. فَتَنَافَسُوهَا كَمَا تَنَافَسُوهَا. So you are going to compete in this dunya the way they competed for the dunya. فَتُهْلِكُكُمْ كَمَا أَهْلَكَتْهُمْ. And so it will ruin you like it ruined them. And so that's the danger of focusing solely on the dunya. I'm not saying focus solely on the akhirah. Again, I know myself, I don't even focus primarily on the akhirah. And I'm forced to stand here, I have to prepare and read these ayat. And I know that not even 30% of my time is spent worrying about the akhirah. I know that. And so the idea is to remind each other. Al-Muhim, second key from this first ayah, and there's no way we're going to get through the whole page. لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. The Salaf, when they saw something like this in the Quran, يَا أَيُّهَا الْمُؤْمِنِينَ يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, something about al-muttaqeen. If I want to be from those people, I need to lock in. I need to pay attention here. Because what's coming next is a description of those people. Who are these muttaqeen? The idea is, Jannah is, you're supposed to compete for it. It is prepared for al-muttaqeen. الَّذِينَ ينفقون في السراء والضراء والكاظمين الغيظ والعافين عن الناس والله يحب المحسنين. Allah gives a description of these people that He describes as muttaqeen. And the description is people who pray all day and all night? No. الذين ينفقون في السراء والضراء. The people who give when they're in plenty and when they're in difficulty. When they're well and when they're sick. The people who remember Allah and remember to give to the less fortunate when they get their tax return. And they have extra money, they're like, I need to remember my brothers and sisters in such and such place. I need to remember the masjid and all the activities they're doing. Because now I'm up and I'm happy and I'm celebrating. So I need to remember Allah. And to remember Allah when my mother is sick and I'm going to donate because she's sick. Or because some terrible thing happened and I'm donating because of this terrible thing. Both sides. في السراء والضراء. What next? So the first thing is they donate. Is the next thing that they pray all night and all day? No. وَالْكَاظِمِينَ الْغَيْظِ. The people who control their anger, who have a hold of their anger. Not people who don't feel angry. Not people who are calm by nature, so it's easy for them to stay calm. It's وَالْكَاظِمِينَ الْغَيْظِ. The people who control their anger, who feel the anger and they don't act on it. Who don't use, I'm sorry, akhi, I was angry as an excuse. Whose kids and family are not afraid of making them upset. Because they know when he's upset, khalas, we're done. وَالْكَاظِمِينَ الْغَيْظِ. And there are many ahadith talking about this. Sayyidina Ali has a few. I'm just picking one of them. But Sayyidina Ali says, anger starts with insanity and ends with regret. It starts with you losing control and it ends with you regretting. Just giving into your anger, that's what happens. وَالْكَاظِمِينَ الْغَيْظِ. The last group of people, we've talked about two groups now. Those who donate, those who control their anger. The third group is the people who pray all night and all day. No. The third group, وَالْعَافِينَ عَنِ النَّاسِ. Those who forgive others. Not because they're right, and then they got into an argument, and now because I'm right, I'm going to forgive you. Or because you said sorry, I'm going to forgive you. Or because you gave me back what you took, now I forgive you. وَالْعَافِينَ عَنِ النَّاسِ وَاللَّهُ يُحِبُّ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. And this is the one that has the attachment of it. This is Allah loves those who have ihsan, those who go above and beyond. Not those who are treating people by, well, you took exactly 5 centimeters from me, and so I need, 5 centimeters back. And then I will forgive you. And I don't want to give examples. I've given this talk more than enough times, and I say, our families back home, and every single person in the audience starts nodding, because they know. Disputes over the dunya, things here in the dunya, and we disobey a direct command from Allah about the akhirah. Over something that's happening in the dunya. Something that somebody took from us in the dunya. That they may or may not have a right to. Al-Muhim. 3 people. وَالْعَافِينَ عَنِ النَّاسِ وَاللَّهُ يُحِبُّ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. Next ayah. Still talking about al-muttaqeen. These are the people that Allah is describing as al-muttaqeen. وَالَّذِينَ إِذَا فَعَلُوا فَاحِشَةً أَوْ ظَلَمُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ ذَكَرُوا اللَّهَ فَاسْتَغْفَرُوا لِذُنُوبِهِمْ. Again, I reiterate. I'm going to translate it first. I keep forgetting to translate the ayat sometimes. And the people who, when they commit fahisha, an indecency. This is a strong word. And one of the troubles of translating Arabic to English, Arabic is an extremely expressive language. Fahisha is a strong word. The word indecency doesn't even begin to cover the meaning of fahisha. أَوْ ظَلَمُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ. Or they oppressed themselves. They committed a sin, essentially. But it starts with إِذَا فَعَلُوا فَاحِشَةً. These are al-muttaqeen. When They commit a sin. When they commit an indecency, what do? They give up. Khalas, they're done. They're taken over by Western ideology and there's no hope for them. The ayah does not say that. The ayah says, ذَكَرُوا اللَّهَ فَاسْتَغْفَرُوا لِذُنُوبِهِمْ. They remember Allah and they seek forgiveness from Allah. That's it. ذَكَرُوا اللَّهَ فَاسْتَغْفَرُوا لِذُنُوبِهِمْ. And the ayah goes on to say, وَمَنْ يَغْفِرُ الذُّنُوبَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. Who else are you going to turn to except Allah? Who else is going to forgive your sins? Who else is going to be the ultimate person to forgive you? فَاسْتَغْفَرُوا لِذُنُوبِهِمْ وَمَنْ يَغْفِرُ الذُّنُوبَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. And the key in the ayah, وَلَمْ يُسِرُّوا عَلَى مَا فَعَلُوا وَهُمْ يَعْلَمُونَ. This is the end of it. And they do not insist on what they've done after they know. It is not expected of the people of taqwa to stay away from sin forever. That's not what the ayah says. But they are expected, when they commit a sin, to be humble and to return to Allah. Nobody else is going to forgive them but Allah. They don't need to be forgiven in the public eye. They don't need to be forgiven by the person. From the last ayah, who we said, وَالْعَافِينَ عَنِ النَّاسِ, maybe the person won't forgive you. But you need to return to Allah. Because the worst thing you can do is you commit a sin, and wallahi, everybody, I've seen people do much worse, and to be honest, what he did to me first, at the end of the day, this is completely justified, and I don't understand why they're making such a big deal out of this, and you start justifying to yourself what you're doing. This is okay for me to do, because what's going to happen next time? You're going to do something more. You're going to take more of the boundaries that Allah has set. Because now your new normal has moved up. Your normal used to be neutral, now it's up here. And so you're going to keep getting worse and worse. وَلَمْ يُسِرُّوا عَلَى مَا فَعَلُوا وَهُمْ يَعْلَمُونَ. I want to emphasize again, and this is the part that struck me about this ayah, because it almost shocked me reading it, that this description of who Jannah is for, and Allah emphasizes for a whole ayah, this ayah is on its own, after the other three people, these people who commit sins, who commit indecency, and they return to Allah, nobody else can forgive them but Allah. أُولَٰئِكَ, these people that we just described, جَزَاؤُهُمْ مَغْفِرَةٌ مِّن رَبِّهِمْ وَجَنَّةٌ تَجْرِي مِن تَحْتِهَا الْأَنْهَارُ خَالِدِينَ فِيهَا وَنِعْمَ أَجْرُ الْعَامِلِينَ. These people that we just mentioned, their reward is Jannah, paradise, forever. تَجْرِي مِن تَحْتِهَا الْأَنْهَارُ. We've all heard this. Rivers and gardens. For eternity. وَنِعْمَ أَجْرُ. And this is the just reward. This is the deserved reward for al-amilin, those who work for it. من أراد الدنيا نؤتيه منها ومن أراد الآخرة وسعى لها سعيا. Whoever seeks the dunya, Allah can give you from the dunya. But whoever seeks the akhirah, it doesn't add this part about work in the first ayah about the dunya. In the akhirah, وَسَعَى لَهَا سَعْيَهَا, the people who put in the work, who do the difficult thing. Every single one of the things described are difficult. It's easy to give when you feel your back is against the wall, and you've heard people say, and the ahadith are plentiful. Give. When somebody is sick, give. When you need help, give. You feel that, and you give. It's hard to give fi sarra. When all of a sudden you have money, and you're looking at discounts and ads, and you're getting blasted ads from every single direction anyway. From your phone, from the TV, from the radio, from billboards. It's difficult to be the person who gives fi sarra'i wal dharra. Wal kadhimin al ghayz. A lady speaking to Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam, but in her anger, in her frustration, in her sadness, when he came to tell her to be patient, she shooed him away, and we've all heard this hadith. And she came back to apologize, but Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told her, Sabr is عند الصدمة الأولى. Patience, holding the anger in, is in that first part. It's not, I say whatever I want, and I do whatever I want, and I let my anger out, and then I go back to apologize to my wife and kids later, or my friends, or whatever. Or to the masjid, who, somebody was blocking me in the parking, and then I yelled at him, and then as I'm leaving, I said, Akhi, khalas, astaghfirullah, and that's it. وَالْقَاضِمِينَ الْغَيْظِ are the people who control their anger, the difficult thing. وَالْعَافِينَ عَنِ النَّاسِ. The guy who got yelled at then lets it go, instead of making a big deal about it in the parking lot as well. Not if there's masjid, of course, of other masajid. Just for the sake of Ramadan is coming. Okay. It's easy to go through the ayat in the Quran. And we hear them, and I don't think I've said anything today that the people who are sitting in front of me have not heard. This is not the place of teaching. This is a reminder for all of us, for me first. So I want, just reflect on these ayat, and after the jalsa, inshallah, I'll recap what these ayat were, but reflect on something you can take into this week, into next week. A place and a time during this week where you will touch the Quran again. I have to rush to work at Fajr, so I can't do it after Fajr, but as soon as I come back before I have dinner, I will hold the Mus'haf and read one page. I have trouble doing it at night because it's so busy and kids and running around. As soon as I pray Fajr, I'll touch the Mus'haf and I'll read one page. Find a place in your day, in your life, to incorporate the Mus'haf. That's the whole point of these few ayat. This is half a page. I haven't even gotten to the second half of the page. And for the sake of time, you guys read the page. Page 67 of Surah Al-Imran, inshallah. It's Surah Al-Imran, page 67. Read any page. All the pages are good. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه إنه غفور رحيم. بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. May Allah accept your istighfar, Ya Rabb. Reunite us in places of good like this, in Jannah, bi'Iznillah, and before that, in a free Masjid al-Aqsa. Ameen, Ya Rabb. I want to recap the ayat that we talked about quickly, and the message that we're taking from them. There's a reason the Quran is preserved. There is a reason that 1400 years later, these pages, you can still read them. Thousands and thousands of miles away from the people who originally read them, we read them here. Not to appreciate it, not to think about it, to act on it. This Quran is an active document. It changes your life. When you engage with it, it changes your life. It forces you to. We went through a few ayat from Surah Al-Imran. And when you read the ayat in context, there's actually deeper meanings. But right now, we're just going to go through these three ayat, the top three. وَسَارِعُوا إِلَى مَغْفِرَةٍ مِّن رَبِّكُمْ وَجَنَّةٍ عَرْضُهَا السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ أُعِدَّتْ لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. We took from that, سَارِعُوا, compete in the akhirah. Focus on the akhirah. Give the akhirah a portion of your time. And this akhirah, this Jannah that we're seeking, the one that we're competing towards, it's for al-muttaqeen. Who are these muttaqeen? الَّذِينَ يُنْفِقُونَ فِي السَّرَّاءِ وَالضَّرَّاءِ. People who donate, who give when they're wealthy and when they're poor, when they're healthy and when they're sick. الَّذِينَ يُنْفِقُونَ فِي السَّرَّاءِ وَالضَّرَّاءِ وَالْكَاظِمِينَ الْغَيْظَ وَالْعَافِينَ عَنِ النَّاسِ. Those who control their anger and those who forgive people. And وَالَّذِينَ إِذَا فَعَلُوا فَاحِشَةً أَوْ ظَلَمُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ ذَكَرُوا اللَّهَ فَاسْتَغْفَرُوا لِذُنُوبِهِمْ. Those who, if they commit an indecency or they transgress against themselves. When we sin, we're hurting ourselves. Those people, what do? ذَكَرُوا اللَّهَ فَاسْتَغْفَرُوا لِذُنُوبِهِمْ. They remembered Allah, they seek His forgiveness. وَمَنْ يَغْفِرُ الذُّنُوبَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. Nobody can give them that forgiveness except Allah. There's a room up here, I see lots of empty spaces, so if you can get closer to each other or move forward so that people in the back can get in. وَمَنْ يَغْفِرُ الذُّنُوبَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. And وَلَمْ يُسِرُّوا عَلَى مَا فَعَلُوا. And they do not insist on the sin that they're committing. They do not justify what they're doing after they know. Ignorance is one thing. But when you're told and when somebody tells you, and this is one of the hardest things to confront, when you say something or you do something and then somebody confronts you about it. Akhi, I don't think you should have said that. Your response is not, what does he know? Your response is to be humble. And وَلَمْ يُسِرُّوا عَلَى مَا فَعَلُوا وَهُمْ يَعْلَمُونَ. They do not insist on what they've done after they're informed about it. That was a quick recap of the khutbah. In the next few minutes, my name is Amer, I'm here with Islamic Relief. I'm going to talk to you about the table that's outside. Most of the people in this masjid know Sheikh Salah, he's standing outside. And you've heard multiple times people talking about what's happening across the world. The reason you keep hearing about it is because it's still happening. The reason you're still getting people talking to you about Gaza is because the people of Gaza still need help. The reason you're hearing about the people of Sudan is because they still need help. And everywhere else in the world where these projects are happening. I'm going to share 2 projects with you in 2 minutes. And the reason I'm sharing these specific projects is because their impact is eternal. The first project in Gaza, Islamic Relief has been training first aid responders inside the refugee camps. Not so that they can administer first aid, so that they can train others. Because these opportunities are rare. And when we get a collection of maybe 20, 30 people, they get trained, and they go to train other people in the camps. How do you do first aid? How do you do triage? How do you treat wounds? And we give them the supplies to do this. And this is a project funded by, in 2023, I came to this masjid and talked about Gaza. In 2024, I came to this masjid and talked about Gaza. And in 2025, I came to this masjid and talked about Gaza. And mashallah, in 2026, here I am. So funded by people from this masjid and other masajid around who care about their brothers and sisters and who fund projects like this. The second project is in Sudan. We just have a team come back from Sudan. They went to Al-Bahri Teaching Hospital in Sudan. This is a hospital in Khartoum that is serving almost 1 million people, depending on this hospital. And that's just the people that are getting health care there. The team that visited said when the hospital reopened, the street sellers, the taxis, the tuk-tuk drivers, all of them were celebrating. Because now there's more people coming into the town, more business, more opportunities for them to work and earn a living themselves and not need to ask anybody for help. Islamic Relief rehabilitated this hospital, and it's a teaching hospital. The next generation of Sudanese doctors are going to be trained there. And one of the craziest stories they told us, I don't want to go over time, but one of the crazy stories they told us, one of the people helping build the hospital, a volunteer, was a doctor at the hospital before it was bombed. And he came back to build it, and he came back again to retake his job as a physician in this hospital. For this is the type of work that you are facilitating, not by donating $10 million from one person. By working together for a better world, that's the model of Islamic Relief. Everybody does one small thing, and it leads to a big effect, inshallah. Jazakumullah khairan for your patience with me throughout this khutbah. May Allah allow us to be from those who follow the best of what we hear. Allahumma ij'alna mimman yattabi'una اللهم اجعلنا من أنا آسف اللهم اجعلنا من يستمعون القول فيتبعون أحسنه. May Allah allow us to be from those who do the good and have the strength to do it, Ya Rabb. See the truth as truth and follow it. See the falsehood as falsehood and avoid it. اللهم اجعلنا من يستمعون القول فيتبعون أحسنه. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. May Allah bless all of us, enter us into Jannah, Ya Rabbal Alameen. May Allah bless the Ummah with victory in Gaza, reunite us there in a free Masjid al-Aqsa, allow us to pray there together, and ease the suffering of our Ummah anywhere around the world where there is suffering. There are many places that I did not mention that need the help. There are many places close to home that need the help. May Allah ease the suffering of all those who are suffering. Ya Rabb, Allahumma aghfir lana dhunubana wa kaffir anna sayyi'atina wa tawaffana ma'al abrar. Allahumma ansur al-Islam wa 'izz al-Muslimin. اللهم اشفنا واشف أمراضنا وأمراض المسلمين، وارحم اللهم موتانا وموتى المسلمين. عباد الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. اذكروا الله يذكركم واشكروه يزدكم وأقم الصلاة